Mungi. Phil brought up a really good point there. And when I was in Japan, we were with Norman Bodak, and I don't know if you know Norman, but he's pretty much responsible for translating all the Japanese books into English and bringing Lean to the US of A. But anyway, he said specifically when it comes to the 8 deadly wastes, we've all adopted them as the 8 deadly wastes and apply them to what we're doing. And he said that's wrong. He said Toyota made the 8 deadly wastes for building cars, and we must generate our own waste for our business. So I know we all talk about the waste, we teach the waste, but I just thought I'd let you know that this is what Norman says. We must generate our own waste. And they'll all tie in, I think, to the 8 deadly wastes eventually at some level, because the 8 deadly wastes are so good. But, you know, for example, for my company at Best Damn Doors, it would be, what we're tossing around ideas, and it would be the waste of poor CNC machining. Instead of saying over processing, motion, all of those things, it just translates right away to our people. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there just to confuse everyone a little bit more, but now you have it. Joe, you're reciting the 8 deadly wastes like I don't know them. I assure you, I know all 8. I know how they apply, where they apply, when they apply. So there's a few things going on here. Is one, those were Toyota's 8 wastes, and just because we can manipulate them to apply to us, I think Norman was just saying, think harder, think as hard as Toyota thought. So they came up with their 8 wastes. I think if it was easy, more of us would have done it already, or it would be common practice. But if it was easy, I would have done it at my companies. We still talk about the 8 wastes every day. We teach the 8 wastes. I'm just planting that same seed with this group of lean maniacs that was planted with me, 5 years ago from Norman Bodak, which was come up with your own. Just because Toyota's apply, maybe there's a better way. So I think it was more of it's not that they don't apply to you, but a challenge to not just use what other people are doing, but to come up with your own. So take it for what it is. If the 8 wastes are working for you, great. But I can see some areas in my operation where I would like to modify that. But again, it's just information, so do what works. Okay, and so now I'm gonna put on my physicist hat and I'm gonna challenge. Before you knew the 8 deadly wastes, we're all running our business according to some system. And then we learned the 8 deadly wastes, and it got better. So who are we to say that Norman's not challenging us to do better than the 8 deadly wastes? It's only the best we know today. So if we learn the 4 deadlier wastes that eliminate the need for the 8 deadly wastes, would that not be better? So we got to question everything as lean thinkers. We can't say this is gospel and there will never be another solution. So maybe Norman was pushing us all in the right direction. I don't know. Maybe he just said that to drive us crazy. Joe, I love this. Okay, I'm on to your second message now. And all I'm saying is I was taught to ask a very important question. And the question is, whenever I come across new information, and depending on the source, I have to ask myself, am I ahead of you or are you ahead of me? And that question alone forces me to keep my mouth shut, have big eyes, big ears, and a little mouth, and take in that information. So, there's no debating the 8 deadly wastes. There's not. There's no debating the application of them. But I am questioning, is Norman ahead of me or am I ahead of Norman? Who used to have dinner with Shigeo Shingo? Me or Norman? Who used to hang out with Mr. Amazawa? Me or Norman? So when the man says something, I'm asking that question. Is he ahead of us or are we ahead of him? And sadly, Norman's no longer with us, so I can't ask him. So it's just a thought challenge for the rest of us. Nothing more.